Why is the globe getting warmer while people are feeling colder? An intriguing question, isn't it? The answer lies in the complex, often misunderstood relationship between global warming and climate change. Global warming refers to the long-term rise in the average temperature of the Earth's climate system. It's a widely acknowledged phenomenon, supported by the overwhelming majority of climate scientists. Yet many of us find ourselves bundling up against unseasonably cold weather, questioning whether our planet is indeed warming. This apparent contradiction stems from a common misconception, a misunderstanding of the difference between weather and climate. Weather is what we experience on a day-to-day basis. One day might be sunny and the next could be raining. Climate, on the other hand, is the long-term pattern of weather in a particular area. When scientists talk about global warming, they're referring to climate, not the weather. It's essential to understand that global warming doesn't mean every place will be warmer all the time. Climate change, which is driven by this warming, can lead to more extreme weather events, including severe cold. Think of it as your local weather being a single note in a symphony, while the climate is the entire composition. Just as a single note doesn't define the symphony, a single cold day or even a cold season doesn't negate the trend of global warming. Moreover, the increase in greenhouse gases due to human activities is causing our planet's overall temperature to rise. This doesn't eliminate winter or cold spells, but instead can lead to more volatile and unpredictable weather patterns. So, the next time you find yourself shivering in the cold, consider this. You're experiencing weather, a fleeting condition of the atmosphere. But climate, the long-term trend, continues to heat up due to global warming. And it's this warming that's the root cause of the more frequent and intense weather events we're experiencing. So, while you might be shivering in your woolly jumper, remember, that doesn't mean the planet isn't heating up. Opening. How can it be freezing outside if the Earth is supposedly warming up? Now, that's a question that has been on many minds as we grapple with the reality of global warming. To understand this, we need to delve into the seemingly contradictory world of weather and climate. You see, weather and climate, while interconnected, are not the same thing. Weather is what you experience when you step outside your door. It's immediate, it's localized, and it's variable. One day it might be sunny and warm, the next, you could be bundled up against the cold. Weather is the day-to-day state of the atmosphere in a region. Climate, on the other hand, is the long-term average of weather patterns in a specific region. It's the big picture, the overall trend that emerges from the daily fluctuations of weather. So, when we talk about global warming, we're referring to climate, not weather. We're talking about a steady increase in the Earth's average temperature over an extended period. And yes, this can happen even as your hometown experiences a record-breaking cold snap. But how does that work? Well, consider this. While one part of the world is experiencing colder than average temperatures, another part could be sweltering under a heat wave. These localized weather events don't change the global trend towards a warmer climate. Furthermore, global warming can actually lead to more extreme weather events, including severe cold spells. This happens due to the disruption of atmospheric and oceanic patterns that regulate our climate. A warmer planet can result in colder, harsher winters in some regions, further complicating the narrative. In essence, global warming doesn't mean that every place will be warmer all the time. It's about the overall trend, the bigger picture. It's about an Earth that, over time, is gradually heating up, even as we continue to experience the full spectrum of weather events, from the scorching hot to the bitterly cold. Closing. So, even though it's snowing in your backyard, that doesn't negate the fact that our planet is getting warmer. Climate change, a term we've all heard, but what role does it play in our warming world? Well, let's start by understanding what climate change is. It refers to long-term shifts in temperatures and weather patterns. The planet's climate has constantly been changing over geological time. The global upswing in temperatures we're witnessing today, however, is of a pace and magnitude that is unprecedented in human history. This rapid warming is being fueled by an increase in greenhouse gases in our atmosphere. Picture the Earth being wrapped in a blanket of these gases. They trap the sun's heat, preventing it from escaping back into space, much like how a greenhouse works. Hence the term greenhouse effect. The more greenhouse gases in the atmosphere, the thicker the blanket, and the more heat gets trapped. contributing to a rise in global temperatures. And what's causing this increase in greenhouse gases? The answer lies largely in our own activities. The burning of fossil fuels such as coal, oil, and gas for electricity, heat, and transportation is the single biggest source of greenhouse gas emissions. Deforestation, industrial processes, and some agricultural practices also contribute to the increase. But why does this matter? Because global warming doesn't mean every place will get hotter. The increase in global temperature is causing the climate system to become more energetic. This means we're likely to see more extreme weather events, including storms, floods, and yes, even cold spells in certain areas. This is where the confusion often lies. Just because it's snowing outside your window does not mean global warming isn't happening. While weather can change in just a few hours or days, changes in climate are observed over longer periods, often decades. Climate change is real and it's happening now. But remember, climate change means more than just warmer temperatures. It's about shifts in weather patterns and increased frequency of extreme weather events. It's about understanding that our actions have consequences. And it's about making conscious choices to reduce our impact on this warming world. Weather and climate, two terms that are often used interchangeably but mean different things. Let's dive deeper into these concepts to get a better understanding of our warming globe. So, what's weather? It's the short-term conditions of the atmosphere in a specific area. We're talking about the stuff you experience daily: rain, sun, wind, snow, and everything in between. It's what prompts you to grab an umbrella, put on a sweater, or reach for those sunglasses. Now imagine compiling data about the weather in your area over a long period, say 30 years or more. You'd start to see patterns emerge: the average temperatures, rainfall, wind speeds, and so on. This, my friends, is what we call climate. So when we say climate, we're talking about long-term patterns. It's like the big picture of your local weather, but spread over decades. But why is this distinction between weather and climate so crucial to our understanding of global warming? Well, here's the thing. While weather can swing wildly from one day to the next, climate is about long-term trends. And these trends show us that, overall, our planet is getting warmer. So when we experience a particularly cold day or week, that doesn't mean global warming isn't happening. It's just weather doing its thing, being unpredictable and changing from day to day. This is why it's possible for some parts of the world to be experiencing record-breaking cold, while the globe as a whole is warming. These short-term weather events don't contradict the long-term trend of a warming climate. So it's important to remember, weather is what you're feeling now, it's immediate. Climate, on the other hand, is like a memory of weather over many years. It's the long-term trend that tells us where we're heading. And right now, that trend is pointing towards a warmer planet, despite those chilly days that might make you think otherwise. So next time you're feeling chilly, remember that's just the weather. The climate, on the other hand, is a different story. So, what's the big deal about a few degrees increase in global temperatures, you might ask? Well, let's dive into it. In essence, the rise in global temperature isn't just about feeling a bit toastier during our summer vacations. It's about a shift in the balance of our planet's climate system, and this change can have far-reaching effects. You see, climate is like a large, interconnected web. When one part shifts, the whole web can tremble. A few degrees increase might seem insignificant, but it can push this delicate balance to the brink. It can lead to melting polar ice caps, rising sea levels, and more frequent and intense extreme weather events. It's not simply about warmer days, but about storms, floods, droughts, and heat waves becoming more common. Now you might be thinking about those frigid days that make you bundle up till you're more scarf than human. Yes, cold weather events still occur, and they can be quite severe. But it's crucial to remember that these are weather events, not climate trends. They're the equivalent of a few cold days in an otherwise warm year. The long-term trend, however, is undeniably towards a warmer climate. So, if you're reaching for your winter coat and wondering why people are talking about global warming, remember that weather can be deceiving. It's the long-term trends that matter. We're looking at the forest, not just the trees. And the forest is getting warmer. This is not to say that we should dismiss cold weather or ignore the challenges it brings, but we need to see these events in the larger context of climate change. It's about understanding the bigger picture, the overarching narrative of our changing planet. Yes, it's cold outside, but remember, our planet is getting warmer. And that's something we all need to address. By understanding the difference between weather and climate, we can better comprehend the complexities of global warming and take meaningful action to combat it. Because after all, this is our home, and we all share the responsibility to protect it.